How to retire early and wealthy. Retirement, the ultimate goal of any working person in society. Many people spend their whole lives working for their retirement. A misconception about retirement is that it's only for those who've reached the designated retirement age, which is around the mid-60s. However, if you make the necessary financial decisions, you could retire a lot earlier than your mid-60s. While it's pretty uncommon, some people have been able to retire as early as their mid-20s. Early retirement also carries some misconceptions. Some people believe that if you retire early, you will not have as much money to live off in retirement. In reality, retiring early goes hand in hand with retiring wealthy. By retiring early, you get the best of both worlds: more time to do the things you love and more money to spend on doing the things you love. Retiring early and wealthy requires a lot of discipline, planning, and smart financial decisions, but it is not impossible. Here are some things you can do in your 20s, 30s, and 40s to be able to retire early and wealthy. What to do in your 20s. Most people in their 20s are not thinking about their retirement. This is a phase of life full of freedom, fun, and friends. Why would you be worried about where you're going to be in your future? Your 20s can be some of the most crucial financial years if you're wanting to retire early. If you can take advantage of this phase of life financially, you will find yourself living very comfortably in the future. Number 1. Pay off your debts. It's very likely that in your 20s you have some sort of debt hanging over you. Student loans, car payments, credit cards, and maybe even a mortgage have started stacking up against you. If you hope to retire early, it is crucial that you pay off your debts as fast as you can. However, because you are only in your 20s, you may not have a very high-paying job, and it may seem like you will never be able to pay off any of the debt you've accrued with your small paychecks. Don't accept this as an excuse. Many people have been able to get out of debt with low-paying jobs, and you can too. Start by making extra payments on your loan and credits every month. Even if it is a small amount extra, it really can help pay off your loans faster. For example, let's say you owe $10,000 with a 4.5% interest rate. By paying an extra $100 every month, you'd be debt-free more than 5 years ahead of schedule if you were on a 10-year repayment plan. Ryan Lane, NerdWallet. Anything extra that you can put towards your loans and debts every month will help you a lot in the long run if you really want to retire early. If you do have a steady job and good credit in your 20s, you should really consider refinancing your loans. Not only will you be able to pay your loans off faster, but you will also save a lot of money on interest. You have to adjust to paying a higher payment every month, but you can do it. Number 2. Start a Roth IRA. In your 20s, you may not have a job that gives you a 401k plan, so you will need to find another way to start saving for your retirement. A Roth IRA is a great investment to open up in your 20s. You can contribute as much to it as you can a 401k, only $6,000 annually. But it isn't controlled by an employer, so you have a lot more control on where you want to make investments. By starting in your 20s and maxing out your investments every year, the money will build up until you are ready to retire, or whenever you are ready to live off of it. Number 3. Practice budgeting. If you can become good at budgeting and make it a habit in your 20s, you will set yourself up for financial success for the rest of your life. Always put money away in your savings first, contribute to your Roth IRA, make your monthly loan and debt payments, and then budget the rest out for food, transportation, etc. Make sure when you are creating your budgets every month that you include money to do fun things. Just because you are planning for early retirement does not mean you should deny yourself the opportunity to participate in some awesome things. You are only young once. Travel, make new friends, and live your best life. You can do it, while also putting away money to plan for your future. What to do in your 30s. In your 30s, you might be experiencing a lot of life changes. You may be starting a family, buying a house, or starting a new career. Even though you may be more responsible than you were in your 20s, it still may feel like you have too many financial things mounting on top of you that you won't be able to retire early. However, just like in your 20s, the financial decisions that you make in your 30s can affect your ability to retire early and wealthy. Trust yourself and know that you can do it. Number 1. Contribute more to your 401k. It's more likely in your 30s that you have a 401k retirement plan. If you can contribute more to it than the minimum, or even contribute the maximum amount annually, you will be setting yourself up to retire earlier. Even contributing 1% more every month can grow your retirement fund a lot. If you budget your money wisely, you should be able to find space to put more into your 401k. It's important to remember that if you want to retire early, you must make it a priority. Number 2. Build an emergency fund. While it's important to be planning for your future and retirement, do not forget about the present. You do not want to find yourself in need of having to pull from your investments in case of emergency. Create an emergency fund that can cover car problems, medical expenses, or other unexpected costs. Build up this fund by contributing to it monthly. You can put as little as 5% of your salary into this fund every month. Just start one. Emergencies can set you back a lot financially if you are not prepared. Don't let all the hard work you've put into retiring early go to waste by not having an emergency fund. Number 3. Cut your costs. If you're wanting to retire early but you live somewhere where the cost of living is super high, one of the best things you can do in your 30s is to move. By cutting your costs as much as possible in your 30s, you can put a lot more money towards your early retirement. Moving from a big, expensive city to a smaller, less expensive one can help you save money on housing, food, gas, transportation, etc. In this case, it is all about your priorities. If you're wanting to retire early, you may have to sacrifice where you would ideally want to live. If you love where you live, you may have to sacrifice retiring early. What to do in your 40s? So, you've entered your 40s. Retirement feels like it's just around the corner, especially if you're planning on retiring early. Your 40s isn't the time to slow down working on your early retirement. This is the last push. The things you'll do in your 40s will set the stage for what your early retirement is going to look like. Number 1. Set a savings goal. You've probably had savings goals in the past, but now you have a better grasp on how much money you're really going to need to retire early. Set that goal and make a budget that will get you to that goal. It's important to set a time limit on the goal. Don't just set a number and say you'll get there one day. Make a goal on how much money you'll have by when. 2 years? 5 years? 10 years? How fast you want to get to your savings goal will determine how much you need to be saving. Number 2. Create sources of passive income. Even after you've retired early, you should still have money coming in. Creating sources of passive income is super important to do before you retire. It helps with the uncertainty of how long your money will last in retirement. To ensure you never have to go back to work, start making investments that will work for you. Invest in companies that are known for paying dividends. You will be able to get your bonuses in cash instead of reinvesting in the company. Consider hiring a financial or investment advisor if you are unfamiliar with the stock market. You want someone to help you make smart investments you can rely on throughout your retirement. Number 3. Determine what your retirement will look like. Before you can retire early, you need to lay out what your retirement will look like. Questions like, where will you live? How much will you spend per month, and more need to be answered. This is so you can ensure that you have saved up enough and will have enough passive income coming in to support your lifestyle. Retirement does not mean you can spend all the money you've saved over the years however you want, unless you've planned your retirement that way. By determining what you'll want to do and where you'll want to be in your retirement in your 40s, you can save yourself from the hassle and stress of planning it after you've already retired. It's also important to plan for taxes after your retirement as well. Many people do not account for this before their retirement and have to find out the hard way after their dream retirement plan gets derailed. Don't put your future self in this position. You've worked hard to be able to enjoy your retirement. Be responsible and plan it before it's too late. Early retirement is possible, and you can start planning for it at any age. Obviously, the earlier you start, the earlier you'll be able to retire. The longer you have been contributing to your retirement savings, the wealthier you will be when you're ready to retire. However, do not write an early and wealthy retirement if you just start trying to achieve it in your 40s. While you will have to be more disciplined than you would have if you had started earlier, you can still retire early and have a very comfortable retirement as well. If you don't know where to start trying to retire early, just start by making it a priority. Accept that you may have to be uncomfortable for a short amount of time to be able to achieve your goals. An early retirement is not going to be something you will ever regret. You will be so grateful for the financial decisions you've made that have given you more time in retirement and more money. If you thought this video was helpful, please leave a like. If you'd like to see more content like this, subscribe to our channel. If you have any more tips on how to retire early or wealthy, leave them down below in the comment section. We love hearing from you guys. We are wishing you the best of luck with your plans to retire early and become wealthy.